Gavin, Tower's your third race weekend, but
Yeah.
this time MX2.
Yep.
Looking forward to that, the big league.
Yeah, it should be cool. We're back to some hard pack. I need just a little bit more time in the stand and stuff like that. So, and just getting back used to outdoors and everything. So it's been it's a big adjustment coming from Supercross to outdoor, and then I'm coming from Supercross to Europe. So it's a massive change, and it's been really cool. It's been really cool to see. It's my fourth country that I've been to it, so third or fourth. So it's really awesome. So it's been a massive culture shock, but it's been really cool. A lot of great people. This team's been super welcoming and making me really feel at home, and just trying to do everything they can to make me as comfortable as possible with, because they know how big of a change it can feel, and you're far away from home and stuff like that. So they've been really helpful.
How did the move come around? You were one of the top guys even in the futures this year. I was expecting you to stay with Star, going into outdoors or whatever you were doing eventually, and then suddenly you turned up here. So what went on there, and are you excited to come here?
Yeah, this will be my first real pro race. I did like a half of one in 22, but I ended up tearing my ACL. But the thing with Star is I wasn't really having anything promised for outdoors. Maybe if somebody got hurt, I would fill in, but there wasn't anything set in stone. So I could be either spending my whole summer sitting around training for nothing, and as a racer, that's all you want to do is race. Training gets repetitive, gets old. You want to see where you stack up and have that competitive feeling. So I wanted to stay with a good team, and I had a lot of good people from Monster helping me, kind of get things in line here and talking to people since I didn't know anybody really over here. So, it came about within, a week after Salt Lake, which my futures, they were not the greatest, but, we got some podiums, but obviously not what the team or I really wanted. So it kind of, with them signing a few people mid-year, it kind of left not really an open spot for me. So yeah, here we are.
How did you find the futures? They're kind of copying what EMX has done here, but obviously for young riders like yourself, it must be an amazing experience to get that without going straight into 250 East or West. Did you enjoy the whole Supercross experience?
Yeah, I really did. I think it's a massive help, and they over here they do it really good. They really groom you to transition into MX2 from EMX or EMX 125. You've been doing long motos for years, so by the time you do 30+2, it's not bad for these guys. Where we see only real long motos once a year growing up, and that was at the Reddits. Now they're starting to transition that a little bit better, and then Supercross with futures and stuff like that. It's making the transition, for younger kids in the States to move pro. But yeah, it's just a little different.
Is it overwhelming riding a Supercross for the first time, even in the futures, or is it exciting? Because I know you've obviously spent a lot of laps on the test track at that point.
Yeah, it's just a massive difference. You have the test track's not rough, it's at Star it wouldn't get too rough. Sometimes NTF it would be a little bit rougher, but for the most part, you would get just a massive wake up call at the races, and you realize, maybe your bike setup wasn't where it needed to be. Maybe you were practicing certain things that needed to be practiced, and it just certain things came into fruition when you were at the race.
And on the Star team, it seems pretty competitive. Everybody's riding together. Were you part of that, riding with Deegan and Bennix and all those guys, even as an amateur?
Yeah, we all rode together.
Right.
And that's what was so frustrating for me. I had really good days at the test track where I would be really close to those guys. People can say that I'm lying, but because I would go to the race and be off. So that was the most frustrating for me and the team, and so it just needed to be a little bit more work and a little more experience, at the races.
Is Hayden as competitive on those practice days as he is on a Saturday?
Yeah,
he's pretty intense and ready to beat everybody down there.
For sure. Yeah, it's like a race day. You really know when you have a bad day because somebody else could be having a good day. So it's it really shows your flaws.
So the change here, EMX 250, you raced the first couple. You had a bit of bad luck, I think, a mechanical in one. Two different tracks. How did you find the level? Your pace was pretty good, so you must be pretty happy with that. But the whole experience of AMX 250, you're thrown into the deep end a wee bit.
Yeah. No, these guys are gnarly. I know a lot of these guys have told me you pretty much top 5 in AMX can be really competitive, and the MX2 class. So the tracks are completely different. One was super hard pack, excuse me, and the other one was pretty sandy. So, but it had like a really hard base. So it was a little bit different than what I've really ever ridden. Germany was a little bit. I could kind of get a little bit of a feel for it. Yeah, so we just after these next couple of weeks, I'll try to get in some more sand, and so.
America, the track seemed more grippy. Generally,
Yeah.
the track is more I would say pin it to win it. Throttle works well.
Yeah.
Here, each track's different, as you just said, week to week. Majora here, again, another hard pack track, very different from Latvia. Do you enjoy testing yourself on all this? Obviously, we saw Jet Lawrence. They came from AMX, the two brothers, and we've seen what they do over there. So whatever your future is, this will probably help you even going back to America or staying here.
Yeah, for sure. I think it'll just make you a better all-around rider. These guys are really creative with their passing, and we can say in the U.S. you don't have a lot of passing, but the tracks are pretty narrow here. Like at least the ones I've done so far. I mean, I've only done 2, so these guys, when they make passes, they are very creative with them, and so when they move over to the States, you're able to see kind of who has raced some races overseas and done some of these tracks. They're just there's a lot of well-rounded tracks, and you get a little bit of everything.
And whereabouts do you live in? Have you been able to adapt to all the changes and lack of
right
English?
Now, I'm living in France. My trainer, he's a fella, he speaks French, and then another mechanic I stay with, he also speaks French. So it's tough. Just your day-to-day basis, like going to the store, like you can kind of get around it, but no, it's been tough, but it's cool.
Yes, a lot of hand signals and Google Translate having to be used. We've done it for the last week.
For sure,
So.
yeah.
Have you any, Villapoto, Osborne, Mike Brown that you can contact to get advice? Because obviously they've been through all this. And
I actually, Ryan, I didn't talk to Ryan, but I know I think Wes Kane, who's really in my corner, I think he had talked to him or something along the lines. He said it'd be a cool opportunity for me, and then I actually did call Zach, and I talked to him for a little bit. So,
Majora is pretty famous from 1986 for Team USA with Johnson, Bailey, and O'Mara. You're now here at a pretty legendary track, so that's worked out well for you. What do you think so far? You obviously haven't ridden it yet. This is Friday, but just to look at, it's like a outdoor supercross nearly.
Yeah, it looks sweet. It looks really cool. It kind of gives me like a. It's not, but it kind of gives me like a vibe of like a Glen Helen, like with the big downhill, like, and on the kind of the side of a hill. So now we're about to see a little bit of the start practice today, which will be different than what we've had the 2 races before. So so it'll be a little less boring of a day.
Yeah. Have you any expectations for this weekend, or just to get experience with those guys?
Yeah, mainly just to get experience. I mean, even all these races are just learning, their process, learning these tracks, getting used to it. I mean, I still haven't had a ton of time with the team, with the bike, like, and not like I changed bike brands or anything, but it's still just a different environment, different feel for everything. So, no, just it's a new track. Now I'm racing the Premier 250 class. So, I guess we'll go out there, hopefully get some good starts, and just have some good racing.
So somehow there hasn't been an American World Champion from Bob Moore in 1994, which is I think 30 years, if my math is right. Is that a goal of yours now you're here, or is it just to get experience, see how it goes, and then try to get back to Supercross in America? Because a lot of GP riders want to go to Supercross.
Yeah, I mean, we're just kind of going to see the rest of this year, and then, obviously I'm from the U.S., and eventually I would, like to go back and race Supercross. Obviously that's been a dream of mine since I was a kid, but right now we're on a different path than just going straight to Supercross and straight to Pro Motocross. If that leads me here for a year, then that's what it does, and if that's, like, I want to pursue racing my dirt bike, that's just going to be what I got to do. So, I think we're just going to kind of see how we enjoy it, see how much, how the progression is, see what is available for the following year, and just kind of go from there.
Finally, there's talk the MA and MXGP are going to have a united race essentially, and at least maybe next year, the year after, in America. So I think it's the top 20 from each MX2 will go to the 250 class there.
Okay.
So it'll be an all-in-one, all-time race. Would you be excited to be involved? Because you're likely to be involved whatever series you're in.
It'd be really cool. I actually had no idea about that, but that would be pretty awesome. Hopefully they could kind of like figure out a pretty good like playing field, and like kind of it's just like it's different. Like you get the 2-day races versus those guys are so used to everything in one day. Like it's all a little different. So yeah, they'd have to like try to make it a pretty fair playing field, because if those guys come over here, it's obviously going to give these guys an advantage, and versus vice versa. So just gotta see.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, and all the best this weekend on the rest.